Omar al-Rashid towers over 12-year-old Amara Williams as she quietly empties his wastebasket, her small hands gripping the plastic liner. Try and stay invisible in the pristine corporate tower that pierces the Chicago skyline. The marble floors gleam under fluorescent lights, reflecting the cold indifference of wealth that surrounds them both. He kicks the trash bin with his Italian leather shoe, sending papers flying across the polished surface like fallen leaves. "Filthy little pest," he mutters in Arabic to his assistant, his voice dripping with the kind of contempt that money breeds. "The cleaner's worthless daughter." His assistant laughs, a sound that echoes off the glass walls of power. "She's as stupid as her monkey mother." Omar grabs Amara's wrist with his manicured hand, his expensive rings digging into her skin like small knives. "You understand nothing, do you, little animal?" His breath smells of expensive coffee and arrogance as he shoves her aside, stepping deliberately on the papers she just collected. The symbolic moment burns into the air, the literal image of class oppression, played out in real time. "These American fools," he continues in Arabic, straightening his $10,000 suit, "will steal their $500 million while this garbage cleans up after us." His laughter fills the executive floor like poison gas. But here's what he doesn't know. This worthless child understands every single word he's saying, every insult, every detail of his criminal plan. And in exactly 72 hours, she'll use that knowledge to bring his entire empire crashing down. The fluorescent light flickers overhead in the janitor's supply room, casting dancing shadows on concrete walls that smell of disinfectant and broken dreams. Amara helps her mother, Kesha, organize cleaning supplies, the sound of mops clinking against metal buckets, creating a rhythm of survival that millions of working families know by heart. "Mama," Amara whispers, glancing toward the door like a secret might escape. "That man today, Mr. Omar, he said bad things." Kesha doesn't look up from counting inventory sheets, her weathered hands moving with the efficiency of someone who's learned to make every minute count. "Baby, you know better than to listen to grown folks' business. Just keep your head down." And he said he's going to steal Mr. Harrison's money. Amara's voice trembles with the weight of knowledge too heavy for her young shoulders. $500 million. The pen slips from Kesha's fingers, clattering to the concrete floor like a gavel in an empty courtroom. "What are you talking about, Amara? You don't even speak Arabic." "Yes, I do, Mama." The words tumble out in a rush, carrying years of hidden truth. "He called me trash, called you a monkey, said Americans are stupid, and he's going to trick them with fake contracts." Kesha stares at her daughter, like seeing her for the first time, recognition dawning in her eyes like sunrise after the longest night. "Baby girl, that's impossible. You've never learned." "I taught myself." Amara pulls out her worn phone, the screen cracked but functional. Scroll into language learning apps that tell a story of determination. YouTube videos, online refugee help calls. Mrs. Fatima from 3B teaches me Somali, and I learn Arabic from her friends. The silence stretches between them, filled with the weight of revelation. Kesha sees something she's never noticed before. Intelligence that burns like fire, a moral compass that points true north, and a gift that could change everything or destroy them both. "What exactly did he say, baby?" Amara takes a deep breath, her young voice carrying the gravity of impending disaster. "He said Monday would be too late to stop them." "Mama, we have to tell someone. We have to tell Mr. Harrison." "Baby, he's not going to listen to us. We're just..." Kesha's voice cracks. "Just what, Mama? Just cleaning ladies? Just nobody?" The question hangs in the air like a challenge to every assumption about worth and voice and who deserves to be heard. The security guard's hand hovers over his radio as mother and daughter approach the executive floor, their footsteps echoing in corridors designed to intimidate. Amara trails behind in her school backpack and sneakers, looking every bit the child who shouldn't be in these halls of power. "Ma'am, Mr. Harrison didn't authorize any." "It's okay, Marcus." David Harrison's voice echoes from his office doorway, curious rather than annoyed. He studies them both, this cleaning woman and her daughter, who somehow found the courage to breach the invisible barriers that separate their worlds. "Mrs. Williams, is everything all right? It's quite late." Kesha's hands twist the cleaning cloth she's still holding, a nervous habit born of years spent knowing her place. Mr. Harrison, sir, I'm sorry to bother you, but my daughter, she says she heard something important about your deal tomorrow. David's eyebrows raise as he studies Amara, who stands half hidden behind her mother, like a secret waiting to be revealed. Your daughter? Come in, both of you. The office smells like expensive leather and possibility. Amara perches on the edge of an oversized chair, her feet barely touching the ground, surrounded by the trappings of success that feel as foreign as another planet. Now then, David settles behind his desk, his voice gentle. What's this about? The man with the fancy watch. Amara begins quietly, her voice growing stronger with each word. Mr. Omar, he spoke in Arabic. He said you're a fool. That Americans are stupid and easy to trick. He's planning to steal your money through fake contract words. David leans forward, his coffee cup freezing halfway to his mouth as perfect Arabic pronunciation flows from his child's lips like water from a hidden spring. The language carries nuances and political subtleties that would challenge university professors. Where? How do you know Arabic? YouTube mostly. And Mrs. Fatima upstairs teaches me. I help translate for refugee kids at the community center. Amara pulls out her phone, opening a news app. As rapid Arabic flows from the speaker, she translates simultaneously, her young voice capturing not just words but context and meaning that reveals a depth of understanding that defies explanation. David's jaw drops. The translation is flawless. 7-year-old Amara had pressed her face against their apartment window, watching the Somali family across the courtyard struggle with English paperwork. Mrs. Fatima held official documents, tears streaming down her face as she tried to communicate with city housing official who spoke only bureaucracy and impatience. Mama, why is she crying? Young Amara had asked. Kesha pulled her daughter close, both of them witnesses to the daily tragedy of language barriers. Sometimes, baby girl, when people can't speak the same language, they can't get help, even when they really need it. That night, Amara downloaded her first language app. I started with Spanish, she explains to David, her small hands folded in her lap like a confessor sharing her deepest truths. For the kids at school whose parents couldn't come to teacher meetings. Then Arabic when the refugee families started moving into our building. How many languages do you speak, Amara? 8 fluently, working on 3 more. She shrugs like it's nothing special, unaware that she's describing genius. Mrs. Gonzalez taught me Portuguese. Mr. Kim helps with Korean. I teach myself the others online. Why languages, honey? Amara looks up with eyes too wide for her age, carrying the weight of understanding that comes from seeing suffering that could be prevented. Because when people can't understand each other, bad things happen. Kids get scared. Families get separated. People like Mr. Omar think they can trick everyone. The next morning arrives like a storm front, heavy with possibility and danger. David assigns Amara as his junior consultant, a title that carries more weight than anyone realizes. She'll act like a child while secretly decoding the Arabic conversations that could expose $500 million in fraud. I need you to be my secret weapon, David whispers as they stand outside the glass conference room, where Omar paces like a predator, speaking rapidly into his phone. Can you handle that? Amara nods, clutching her backpack. Inside, she can see the man who called her trash, who kicked her supplies across the floor, who grabbed her wrist hard enough to leave bruises. But now she has something he doesn't know about, the power of understanding. Remember, you're just here with your mom while she works. Act like a normal kid. She spreads her coloring supplies on the floor, close enough to hear everything, but far enough to appear uninvolved. As Omar continues his phone conversation, she starts coloring a butterfly, pink and purple wings taking shape, while Arabic words flow around her like water she can navigate. Naam, Kolshe Siyadri Wafkin Lil Kuda. Omar says into his phone, yes, everything is going according to plan. Amar's crayon pauses for just a moment, then continues moving across the paper. Al-Amarki and La Uraif and Shayan and Kawan and Altajar al-Islamiyya, he continues. The Americans know nothing about Islamic trade laws. We'll use this loophole to control the project completely. A butterfly wing gets colored a little too hard, the crayon pressing deep into the paper. Omar's assistant enters with updates that make Amara's small hands freeze around a blue crayon. They discuss their bribed lawyer, their timeline acceleration, their plan to destroy the housing project that would give families like hers a chance at stability. When they mention making the poor people homeless to build luxury resorts, the blue crayon snaps in Amara's grip. The main conference room becomes a battlefield disguised as a business meeting. David stands before his senior partners while Amara sits small and quiet in an oversized chair, the mahogany table stretching between them like a courtroom divide. Let me understand this correctly. Senior partner Margaret Foster adjusts her designer glasses, her voice sharp with disbelief. You wanted to lay a $500 million deal because of something a child claims to have overheard. Are we really taking legal advice from the cleaning lady's daughter? Partner Robert Carter interrupts, his condescension filling the room like smoke. This is absurd. She's 12 years old. Foster's voice rises with the kind of anger that comes from having one's judgment questioned. Children mishear things. They make up stories for attention. This is exactly what happens when you let the help bring their kids to work. The words hit Amara like physical blows, but she stays silent, her small hands clenched in her lap. These kids watch too much TV. Partner James Sullivan leans back in his leather chair. Probably picked up a few words from some movie and thinks she's a translator. Carter's next words poise in the air. You know how these people can be? They see conspiracies everywhere. The racist implication hangs like a death sentence on human dignity. Furthermore, Foster continues, even if this child did hear something, we have professional translators. Are you suggesting we trust a 12-year-old over Harvard Law graduates? Amara finally speaks, her voice barely above a whisper, but carrying the power of absolute knowledge. May I ask Mr. Carter something? The partners exchange glances like adults humoring a child. You said magnum cum laude in your introduction, but you pronounced magna wrong. It's magna, not magnum. Latin stress patterns fall on the penultimate syllable when it contains a long vowel. The room goes dead silent. Also, Mr. Sullivan, when you said we should trust the best legal minds, you used a dangling modifier. And Mrs. Foster, you said these people twice. I counted. My mama taught me that when someone says these people, they usually mean people I don't respect. David smiles grimly as his humble partners suddenly find their legal pads fascinating. Now, shall we test her Arabic, or are you convinced that intelligence doesn't come with age requirements? 30 minutes before the signing, the conference room transforms into a war room. Amara opens her tablet, showing them a simple drawing app that will become the most sophisticated intelligence-gathering tool the firm has ever used. I'll use this to send you signals. Red, that means they're lying. Blue, that means important information. Green, that means they're telling the truth about something. That's actually quite sophisticated, Carter admits reluctantly, his earlier arrogance replaced by grudging respect. Omar strides in with his legal team, speaking rapid Arabic that he believes creates an invisible shield around his criminal intentions. Al-Mal Sayak Faye Dina Tamaman, he tells his assistant. The money will be completely in our hands. Amara's finger moves across her tablet screen. To anyone watching, she's coloring a house, but she taps a red that appears on David's phone like a signal from the future. As Omar begins a performance of legitimate business, Amara catches every lie, every hidden clause, every moment when his English words contradict his Arabic intentions. Her tablet becomes a window into his criminal mind, translating not just language but deception itself. Kafi Rifhada? Omar hisses to his assistant when David demonstrates impossible knowledge of the Arabic clauses. How does he know this? Red dots and blue dots flash across David's screen as this 12-year-old girl orchestrates the exposure of international fraud with nothing but crayons and courage. Omar's eyes sweep the room suspiciously, seeking the leak in his perfect plan. They pass over the senior partners, the legal assistants, David himself, and land on Amara. She sits quietly, appearing completely absorbed in coloring a butterfly, just a child playing games while adults conduct business. Maz muki ayu al-fata al-sagira? Omar asks in Arabic, testing her. What's your name, little girl? Amara continues coloring. showing no sign she heard anything unusual. Omar relaxes slightly. Just a stupid child after all. But then he notices something. Her crayon paused for a microsecond when he spoke Arabic. Her hand trembles almost imperceptibly. "Antama talking ala tafum?" He asks his assistant. "You're sure she doesn't understand?" This time, Amar's reaction is unmistakable. Omar kneels beside her chair, his expensive suit bringing him to her eye level, his voice deceptively gentle. "You're at Minky and Takraji min Hadi al Foreign. I want you to leave this room immediately." Amara blinks, looking confused. "Are you talking to me, mister? I don't speak Spanish." But Omar sees something in her eyes, a flicker of intelligence, of understanding, of barely contained power. "Mr. Harrison." His voice turns deadly serious. "I want this child removed from the room now." She stays. David responds firmly. "Then we have no deal." Omar begins gathering his documents. The moment of truth arrives like thunder. Millions of dollars hang in the balance. David's entire firm's future rests on his next decision. He looks at Amara, this brave little girl who risked everything to expose the truth. "Amara," David says clearly, "would you please tell Mr. Omar in Arabic exactly what you heard him say about the $200 million penalty clause?" The room goes dead silent. Omar's face turns white as paper. Amara stands up, looks Omar directly in the eyes, and speaks in perfect, crystal-clear Arabic that cuts through his world like a sword through silk. "Sammy took a tackle ana alnas al-hakiki utaika sedar camel, ba thouthan yaman fakit, wa ana al-emerkian sayab for me attain $1,000,000 kagaramat, indama yuhawalan kazar al-act." I heard you say that the real text gives you complete control after only 30 days, and that the Americans will pay $200 million in penalties when they try to break the contract. Omar staggers backward like he's been shot. The worthless little black child just destroyed his entire criminal empire with words he taught her to understand through his own hatred. The silence stretches like a taut wire ready to snap. Omar stares at Amara as if she's materialized from another dimension, no longer invisible, no longer dismissible, no longer just a child. "Hada ger mumkin." The words escape his lips like a death rattle. This is impossible. Amara steps forward, her tablet clutched in her small hands, and addresses the room with the authority of absolute justice. "Mr. Omar has been speaking Arabic this entire time, because he believed none of you could understand him. He called me black trash, filthy pest, and worthless garbage. He called my mama a monkey. He said Americans are stupid and easy to fool." Her voice grows stronger with each revelation. But worse than the insults, he's been planning to steal $500 million through fraudulent contract language. The Arabic text gives him complete ownership after 30 days, not 60. If you try to stop him, you pay $200 million in penalties. And the housing development for low-income families? He plans to tear it down and build luxury resorts for rich people. She taps her tablet screen. Omar's voice fills the room, speaking in Arabic with English subtitles scrolling across the display like evidence from heaven itself. "We'll take everything from this stupid company. The Americans know nothing about Islamic trade laws. We'll make him agree or we'll destroy him. The poor people in this area will find themselves homeless." Foster's hand flies to her mouth. Sullivan goes pale. Carter stares at Amara like he's witnessing a miracle. "You recorded everything?" Omar's voice is barely a whisper. "I recorded everything, Mr. Omar, including you laughing about how you've done this to other American companies before, including you mentioning the backup lawyer you bribed in this firm." David steps forward with the authority of justice finally served. "Omar al-Rashid, I'm canceling this deal effective immediately. Furthermore, I'm reporting attempted fraud to the FBI, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and international authorities." But Amara isn't finished. She walks directly to Omar, the small 12-year-old girl facing down a man who tried to steal $500 million. Her voice carries the quiet authority of absolute moral victory. "Mr. Omar, do you remember what you called me when I was cleaning your wastebasket?" His mouth opens and closes soundlessly. "You called me dirty black trash and told someone to remove me from your site. You kicked my supplies across the floor. You grabbed my wrist so hard it left marks. She holds up her small arm, showing the faint bruises from his rings. But you know what's funny? While you were busy thinking I was worthless, I was busy saving $500 million and protecting hundreds of families from losing their homes. The words hit Omar like physical blows. And now, Amara's voice carries the weight of poetic justice. Everyone will know that a 12-year-old girl you called garbage was smart enough to stop your entire criminal operation. Omar collapses into a chair as his empire crumbles around him. David places his hand on Amara's shoulder like a father blessing his daughter. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Amara Williams, our new chief youth linguistic consultant, and the person who just saved our company from the largest fraud attempt we've ever faced. The room erupts in applause that sounds like thunder after storm. Foster stands, her voice breaking with emotion. Amara, I don't know how to apologize for what I said earlier. You showed more intelligence and courage in one morning than I've shown in my entire career. As FBI agents arrive to arrest Omar and his assistant, Amara sits in David's chair behind a massive mahogany table. Her small frame is dwarfed by the executive furniture, but her presence commands the entire room. The worthless trash Omar tried to sweep away has become the most powerful person in the building, and she's only 12 years old. 1 year later, the brass nameplate on an office door reads, Amara Williams, Chief Youth Linguistic Consultant. Inside, 13-year-old Amara reviews documents in 5 languages, while her advanced calculus homework lies open nearby. Her walls display certificates from the FBI, the State Department, and 3 universities. But the place of honor goes to a framed photo of her teaching Arabic to refugee children at the community center. The Amara Williams Foundation has approved full educational scholarships for 15 students this year, each one nominated by someone who saw potential that others missed. As Amara addresses the scholarship recipients in the same conference room, where Omar once called her garbage, her words carry the weight of lived truth. A year ago, a very powerful man looked at me and saw nothing but dirty black trash. He thought I was too young, too poor, too different to matter. He was wrong. She pauses, looking at each scholarship recipient. But here's what I learned. He wasn't wrong because I'm special. He was wrong because every person in this room is special. Her voice grows stronger with conviction born of experience. The hardest part isn't proving you're smart enough or good enough. The hardest part is believing it yourself when everyone around you says you're not. I'm here to tell you, you are enough. You are worthy. You are brilliant. And someday you'll get the chance to prove it. Standing in the same spot where Omar once dismissed her as nothing, Amara addresses a room with wisdom that transcends her 13 years. Look around your schools, your workplaces, your communities. Who are you not seeing? Whose voice are you not hearing? Whose potential are you missing because they don't look like what you expect genius to look like? Her final words ring with the authority of someone who changed the world by being exactly who she was meant to be. The next time you see someone cleaning an office, ask yourself, what languages do they speak? The next time you pass a child sitting quietly in a corner, ask yourself, what are they thinking about? Because talent doesn't wear expensive suits. Intelligence doesn't need a college degree. Wisdom doesn't require wrinkles. And worth has nothing to do with the size of your paycheck. She smiles the same quiet smile she had when Omar first underestimated her. So I'm asking you, yes, you watching this, what will you do differently tomorrow? Will you notice someone you've been overlooking? Will you listen to someone you've been dismissing? Because somewhere out there is another kid like me, sitting quietly in a corner, understanding more than anyone realizes, waiting for someone like you to see them. Her voice carries the weight of universal truth. Don't make them wait too long. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment below and tell us about a time when someone underestimated you, or when you discovered hidden genius in an unexpected place. Like this video if you believe that intelligence speaks every language, and subscribe to our channel for more stories that prove the most powerful people in the room are often the ones nobody notices. Because knowledge is light, and justice speaks every language.